Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our SAEON seminar for November. And thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. Just so you know that I am busy recording this and we're going to be putting it up on the SAEON YouTube page. So if you have missed some of our seminars in the past and want to find out more about some of the things, you're welcome to go have a look there. So what we're going to do, the plan for today is to have the seminar from Laurent, and then we're going to have a little question and discussion center section at the end. So if you do have any questions, you can keep them for the end or pop them in the chat, and we'll have a little discussion around things after. So I would like to introduce our speaker for today. It is Laurent Vidal. He is an anthropologist and a senior scientist at the French National Research at the IRD. It's easier to say. And he's been working in Africa for almost 40 years on mostly health-related issues. So he's currently the director of the IRD, the CNRS, and CIRAD, the Joint Office in South Africa. So he's going to be chatting to us a lot around exploring French and South Africa partnerships that are happening here in Southern Africa. So over to you, Laurent.
Thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. So good afternoon, everybody. First of all, of course, I would like to thank the SAEON colleagues for inviting me to speak at the seminar, the monthly seminar. And first of all, Caitlin, thank you very much. So as you say, I'm Laurent Vidal. I have a background in medical anthropology, and in fact, I made all my career on health topics in West and Central Africa. So I represent three French public, try to manage my slides. Yes. So three French public research institutes, with a scope that extends from the whole of Southern Africa for CNRS, as you can see, so 12 countries of Southern Africa. For CIRAD, I cover, if I can say, South Africa, and for ARD, South Africa, Mozambique, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. So what we're talking about? ARD, it's my own institute. It's a multidisciplinary institute focus on the global south, if you can say, issues linked with the SDGs. CNRS, National Center for Scientific Research, is the largest public research institute in France, but also in Europe. So, of course, it covers all fields of research and is the second publisher of science in the world. And CIRAD is a French Agricultural Research Center for International Development, and as you understand, it focuses on agriculture for development, and I'm the representative of CIRAD for South Africa. CIRAD has a regional office in Madagascar. So it's a quite unique office in the world for IRD, CNRS, and CIRAD, of course. And my job is mostly to facilitate the research of colleagues from these three institutes, to create new links with South African colleagues and publicize our research. This, of course, within the framework of a respectful and equitable partnership. And for that, we have staying in South Africa or Zimbabwe, 10 staff, scientific colleagues, including myself. And for instance, one data for 2023, more than 300 short scientific stays in Southern Africa, but most of them in South Africa, in fact. So I don't want to go into details about the projects we found, but I'd just like to draw your attention to the great diversity of themes and disciplines on the right, blue, As you can see, there's a quite big range, wide range of topics from basic science to more applied research. As you can see, we have networks on physics, geometry, math, and of course more applied science on ocean topics, aquaculture. We're talking about that in a few minutes, and social sciences. Just this slide just for you to see the wide range of topics we are working on in South Africa and Southern Africa. So my aim today is to give you a few examples of our research into environmental issues and the role of human beings in them. It's not exhaustive, it's only some examples of our research. A few words program on aquaculture and nutrition. Then I will make a focus on ecology and environment around 2 projects, also on zoonosis and the links between environment and disease. And also I will make a focus on archaeology and paleontology with 2 projects led in South Africa. And I will finish this first part of my presentation on research topics on a platform led by CIRAD on agriculture and governance. And after that, I will finish my presentation by presenting you some tools for partnerships, funding tools. So, aquaculture and nutrition. Few words about Limakwa. Sorry, problem with the slide. So the central research question guiding the African interdisciplinary laboratory in sustainable nutrition sensitive marine aquaculture, LIMAQUA, is how can sustainable marine aquaculture contribute to food and nutrition security, poverty alleviation, and income creation? So this lab is based in South Africa with a strong regional focus, and LIMAQUA brings together an interdisciplinary team of South African and French scientists specialized in biology, biotechnology, socioeconomics, food science, and human nutrition. You have the 5 objectives of this lab. So the project is grounded in the principle of sustainable science, adopting a multi-actor approach. And so you can see the various partners of this project, including Northwestern University, University of Fort Hare, Western Cape, and so on. But about the multi-actor approach, just few pictures of abalone cultivation on an aquaculture farm in Western Cape, where laboratory research work. And you can see on the picture on the right, one of the two guys is director of the lab, Brett Massey. So ecology and environment. First of all, the International Research Lab, REABS, so Reconciling Ecological and Human Adaptation for a Biosphere-Based Sustainability, REABS, aims to be a hub for innovative research on social ecological system and biosphere-based sustainability for the Anthropocene, with a Pan-African ambition, also with a more Southern African scope to start with. So REAB is hosted by Nelson Mandela University in the George campus of NMU, and REAB, which is to promote the values embraced by NMU. I mean diversity, excellence, Ubuntu, social justice and equality, integrity, and environmental stewardship, and contribute to the effort of NMU to be recognized for its leadership in generating cutting-edge knowledge for a sustainable future. Also, REAB is very involved in the training with around 15 students per year, postgraduate students per year. since 5 years now. Uh, just to say that there's a wide range of collaboration with, but in fact with SAEON around the garden route, of course, and also with at Kruger National Park with Sand Parks and also SAEON. Now a focus on zoonosis, we could say environmental disease, about two projects. The first of one is a project Victoria, so mostly based in Zimbabwe, who aims to better understand cross-species viral transmission and the risk of emerging infectious disease in Southern Africa. How? By exploring the circulation of three families of viruses within, but also between bats and rodents. So the Project Victoria addresses the issue of One Health perspective, involving intersectoral research, I mean animal and public health, and using an interdisciplinary approach by combining virological, ecological, epidemiological, genetic, and social science, in fact, anthropology investigation. This project involves, first of all, University of Zimbabwe, but also at UP, the Center for Viral Zoonosis, Faculty of Health Science. So you can see some three of the work package of the Victoria project. First of all, longitudinal monitoring, then after the detection of potential viruses, and the characterization of the exposure to the community. So the link between animals and humans via zoonosis, via animal transmitted disease. Second project on this, on this question of the link between environment and disease, but in Humani project, including the question of the climate change. So Humani project proposed to address increased infection disease threats and multi-host transmission in the context of climate change and biodiversity erosion in Southern African socio-ecosystem. So mostly based in Zimbabwe. Humani's massive fieldwork effort will provide groundbreaking scientific data to parameterize epidemiological models and understand pathogen circulation in multi-host systems. And there are some pictures of the fieldwork done with animals, with farmers. So as you can see, this project, it's an international project involving South Africa, Zimbabwe, UK, and of course, French, CIRAD and RAD. Now a focus on two projects on archaeology and paleontology. First of all, this project, I name Archaeology in the Footsteps or Little Foots. Little Foots, it's at Wits, as you know. So the cave-in fields at Sterkfonteins contain one of the richest assemblage of Australopithecus fossils in the world, including the nearly complete skeleton named Little Foot. But the fact is that the chronology of the site remains controversial owing to the complex history of cave infilling. So, on this basis, the stratigraphic studies and new dating method showed that the skeleton is thus curval with early Australopithecus afarensis in Eastern Africa. So it's a project in partnership, of course, with WITS and led by CNRS from the French part. A second project named Bold Farms Project focus on studying the evolution, the evolution of biodiversity composition over time in order to reconstruct environmental changes. This geological period is marked by climatic change. So the bolt form progress research focuses mainly on the bolt form fossiliferous area in the cradle of humankind near Jobo, where fossiliferous deposits have been dated between 4 million years old and 1 million years old. For the fauna, colleagues are investigating whether there have been resiliencies, adaptations, or extinctions following change in environment caused by climate impacts. To study this, they are taking an interdisciplinarity approach involving paleontology, of course, but also geology and other geoscience disciplines. About bolt form project, this slide traces the progress of the various projects that have enabled us to carry out this joint research. I think it's important to highlight the substantial support received from the National Research Foundation, South Africa, and the CNRS. At the bottom of the slide, the evolution, you can see the evolution of the SARA. SARA is the South African Heritage Resources Agency excavation permits with the involvement of South African colleagues from the Black community in South Africa. It is the first project to do this. So I think it's important to say that. I will finish this presentation, and I insist about the fact that it's not exhaustive, of course, on agriculture and governance, and a project led by CIRAD. It's a platform, a research platform, ARP-PCP. The vision of this platform is to contribute to self-sustaining and functional socio-ecological system for the betterment of life of people and animals within South African protected areas and the periphery. So it means Zimbabwe, but also, as you can see in the map, Great Limpopo or other places in the region. And to achieve this vision, the research platform strengthens national and regional research capacity by co-designing and implementing demand-driven research action, and of course, also and always, as I can say, interdisciplinary approaches. So I will be, we can come back after in the discussion about this project and maybe other ones, but now I would like to focus for a few minutes on our tools for this research, financial tools. First of them, the CNRS ones. So, sorry, I have a problem with the slides. First of all, on the left, from the left to the right, you have the I can say the first funding, the seed fundings, until with International Research Center, the more sophisticated tools for partnership at CNRS. So you have networks. I will show you a slide about our different networks in South Africa, including South Africa, and International Research Project and International Research Laboratory in the structuring perspective. And for instance, the IRL RHABs, just talked about it a few minutes ago. That's our international, I can say, collaboration tools, but especially in Africa, in its African plan, CNRS developed specific tools for Africa, I can say. Three of them are quite important. I mean, the Joint Research Program, who try to encourage research and capacity building by reinforcing existing collaborative activities during 4 years for 300,000 euro, including an important amount for mobilities, equipment and organization of scientific events, and residential research school, RRS, of course, to facilitate the transfer of knowledge from basic concept to advanced research results. So it's quite concentrated, 2 weeks, 30,000 euro. It means 6,000 rounds, 600,000 rounds, sorry, and visiting fellowship. That's for CNRS. For IAD, we have quite the same of tools for partnership. We can support young joint teams for 3 years, 50,000 euro per year. I think a very interesting tool is the possibility to fund mobilities from south to north, if we can say, from south to south. It means that we can imagine to invite a colleague from West Africa to come to a lab in South Africa for 2 or 3 months. IRD could fund that. We also have international research networks for 5 years, 15,000 euro per year, and as CNRS on the right, International Research Lab. I presented you Limakwa with an international research lab from IRD. So in this slide, I want to summarize our different tools, including those of CIRAD on the right, but also including those of the French embassy. And as you can see, from the top to the bottom, we have, I can say, individual funding, master grant, PhD grants. So PhD grants, French embassy, and all the research institute adds the possibility to support, to fund PhD. And for instance, we have a joint PhD program with WITS, with 5 South African PhD and 5 French PhDs. And after that, starting collaboration fundings and networking, joint project, international labs, and international joint units. Of course, I will share all those slides with you. A slide about our networks. Sorry, networks including South Africa. But what is interesting, it's not only the thematic, so you have maths, artwork, more social sciences project, or project on aquaculture, oceanography, plastic pollution, and so on. But what is interesting is that when we said networks, it means including South Africa, of course, but sometimes including a lot of countries from Africa, but not from Southern Africa, or most countries from Southern Africa, but not with the rest of Africa, for instance, for the Ramsar network on artwork. And for the first of them, Society for the Social Study of Quantification, it's in fact a network including UK, USA, and South Africa, but not other African countries. A last slide about our vision or perspective, maybe. So as you understand, I think what could be interesting, including with SAEON, of course, is to develop sub-regional partnership, including with Francophone Africa. I say that because I think it's one of the goals of the South African politic of science, but it's also an opportunity for us at IRD, for instance, because we have a lot of, as you understand, as French Research Institute, we have a very long history with some West African Francophone countries. So a lot of contacts, networks, colleagues in those countries. So it could be interesting to build partnership at the sub-regional dimension, including this part of the continent. Of course, to focus on interdisciplinarity project with societal impact, I think that all the projects I presented to you this afternoon are interdisciplinary ones. And third point, to promote our partnership, including mobilities of students and scholars to France or other African countries. I just talk about that when I say that we can fund at ARD, for instance, South-South or South-North, if we can say, mobilities. Thank you for your attention.
Merci, Laurent. Thank you so much for a very nice overview of some of the projects that you've got running here and some of those collaboration tools. I think hopefully some people find them useful and see some nice links between some of the stuff they're doing. So I'd like to open it up to questions. So if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to raise your hand and I'll ask you to ask it. If not, you're welcome to make use of the chat.
Some questions in the chat.
No questions. We need a brave person to start. There we go. Kendall, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Hi, Laurent. Thank you very much for that presentation. So we have some work that we're doing around some high seas work around Prince Edward Island, and I wondered if you had any guidance or contacts for us for people within your network that are working in marine, particularly between, say, South Africa and the French Crozet Islands.
Yes, we have some partnership on these topics. Maybe I can send you more information by email because I don't have everything yet in my mind. But yes, I mean especially from CNRS counterpart, but also because I don't talk about the fact that of course I represent 3 French research institutes, but all our labs as scientists are joint labs with universities, with French universities. So a lot of colleagues in France working in South Africa and Southern Africa are from French universities, not only from CNRS, IRAD, and CIRAD. Like I can send you information about that.
Great. I'm going to put my email in the chat. I would appreciate any contacts.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Kendall.
Thank you so much, Kendall, for that question. Does anybody else have any questions? Anybody see nice potential that they could work with these French projects that have got going? Got any questions around that? Yeah, DJ, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Hi, Laurent. Thank you for that. This is Debbie Jurt speaking. I work for Ezimvelo KZN Wildlife, which is the conservation organization in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. So I was very interested in some of the ecology work that you were doing, but I'm also a representative of the Grassland Society of Southern Africa, and I would be very interested if you would consider giving some presentations at the conference we will be holding next year in July. in Pietermaritzburg, I think it would fit really well. We have both an ecological and an agricultural focus, and an education focus. So if I could engage with you further around perhaps coming in, and then we could look at partnerships going forward to work there. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Maybe I can put you in touch with my colleagues from George, from Nelson Mandela University and the IRL Rehabs, because they are also very involved in the link between science and community, science for society. Yes.
Thank you. That would be great.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for that question. Yeah, and I think it's really important to bring those links between the science and society thing. And it's definitely the way most people are going now. Does anybody else have any other questions that they'd like to ask Laurent?
Of course, I will send you my presentation, Caitlin.
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll also put it up on YouTube, so you can see everything, even if you missed it. There is a question here from Anton. Anton, would you like to unmute and ask it, or do you want me to read it? Okay. Anton would like to know if there are any funding opportunities for PhD studies on joint South Africa-French projects.
Yes, of course. But first of all, you can apply for projects, for instance, European project. And I have a colleague online who won a European project on marine science, building of a master. So you can win a project, including PhD fundings. But on my part, the second point is that, as I say, we can fund PhD at the French Embassy, at IRD, also at CNRS. From the French Embassy and IRD, and I can send you all the information by email. There's one call per year. You just, if I can say, need to have a link from IRD with a French lab led by IRD, and after that, we can imagine we can build a co-batch PhD from South African University and French University. Yes, we can fund that. And for instance, for instance, for the just an information from the French Embassy, it's quite interesting, quite competitive. For instance, this year, 400 there was 400 applications, most of them for masters, for only 20 possibilities. But anyway, I encourage you to apply for, and of course for IRD opportunities.
So it's nice to know there's some opportunities, but you got to know they're nice and competitive. So yeah. Anyone else got any questions for Laurent? Hey, I think that means we're done with questions. Last chance if anyone's got a question. Okay. Thank you so much, Laurent, for a very interesting talk. And hopefully there's some nice, potentially new collaborations from people who've asked questions, and people have some more ideas and if on potential collaborations that their work would fit into nicely. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us today, everybody.
Thank you.
Perfect. So we have decided not to do a seminar in December because a lot of people are busy, but I hope that everybody can join us next year in Feb for our next seminar, where our new SAPRI engagement manager, Wade de Kock, will be chatting about his PhD research that was on rainfall over the Western Cape. So thank you for joining us today and hope to see you in Feb.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thanks.
Caitlin.
Bye.